What is up, everybody? Welcome back to I Attempt to Fix Things, because I guess I can. And today we're going to be doing a bit of a fix and a bit of a mod to my daily driver headphones, these Samson SR850s. Unfortunately, these ones fell victim to effectively becoming the worst form of those weird Bluetooth headphone prank ad things, and the cable got snapped off of it because the strain relief on these is not the greatest, and yeah, they cheaped out. And this is not the first time this has happened to me. This is the second time. But I did say when I did it the first time that literally the moment that it happens again, I'm literally gonna do the removable cable mod. Now, if you don't know, these headphones, these cables can't be removed on. They're great headphones, but yeah. But what a lot of people like to do is they mod these things so you can remove the cable and just use your own. In fact, but yeah. And the set of cables that I ordered and all the stuff to do the mod arrived today. And yeah, it's going to involve a bit of 3D printing. Some tutorials I've seen have it where you use a Dremel and a bit of work to deal with it, but I'm not in that mood tonight, and I've got a 3D printer. Why be subtractive when you could be additive? So yeah, so what we're going to do is we're basically going to replace this little front plate here with a 3D printed one. I found a design on Thingiverse, I'll have links in the description below, of basically the exact same predicament I was in. In fact, the person who made the thing we're going to be printing tonight is designed for this exact 3.5mm jack. Yeah, so it's a pretty simple one. Now, it's a bit of a confusing mess, but we can get on with it. But yeah, let's get right on to the 3D printing portion and continue from there. Alright, so it's been a few days. Unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time to dedicate to this project because things and stuff happened, and yeah. So, the prints have finished, and I'm saying prints plural because quite a few things came up, and I'll explain to those. So, this is the original thing as it came off of Thingiverse. So, as it is, although it was designed for this exact jack as far as I know, it wasn't designed for this jack completely. For example, these jacks have a little nut on them. This was not designed to make use of that, because it goes like the entire length of the little thread area. If you look down there, there's a little thread area. This output hole only really goes as deep as that, and you know, it goes right on in and everything, but also you're supposed to kind of thread it through once you finish soldering, which is a bit hard. And if I go in and you know, if it goes in full, you won't have enough room to put this nut on. Now I think that was an intentional design choice, but yeah, the only other thing that was kind of not intentional was the fact that the hole seemed to be a bit too small. Could be a Z-step error on my part with my printer, but increasing the hole size to about, but looking at the dimensions of it actually in CAD software, it definitely did not check out dimensionally. So I think my 3D printer is accurate enough for that kind of data. And yeah, So what I did to do is that I was able to get my CAD software to be able to open an STL file and mod it. I use Autodesk Inventor, by the way, and Autodesk Inventor I had to use the one of the mesh tools. I forget what it's called, but it's available on their little app store ecosystem type thingo as like a plugin. And what I did is I modded this little hole that goes out to about 1.5 millimeters from the 3.5 that it usually was. I was going to shave it down the full length, but unfortunately, like right at like the 0.5 millimeter mark, it kind of, as you can see, it goes back to being the width of the entire thing, so it was kind of inaccurate or silly to do it that way. I also expanded out the hole a bit, but apparently not too much, because I kind of had to kind of finagle it into shape so I could get so I could actually get the jack in on it. And this is just a test fit. The jack isn't actually going in. I'm not going that crazy to solder it right on in, to solder it while the jack's in place. But I might use the jack as a bit of a helper to get it into the right spot, like so. Come on, click it open. But now I've given in other words, I've given myself ample room to get the nut into the actual thing with the thing, and yeah, worked out pretty well. So our next order of business is going to be soldering this new wire to my other wire. Now, unfortunately, when I did this, when I ordered all this stuff, I unfortunately ended up ordering the right angle plugs, because in my anger of it's doing this again, I accidentally thought that the hole where the screw will go once all this is finished, where the little screw normally goes, I thought that was where the jack was going to come out of. But I guess I should have looked at the model more to realize that there's this little hole at the bottom. And yeah, so let's get right onto that soldering. Alright, so the job has been completed. Unfortunately, I didn't film the last few steps because they're a bit hard to film when there's a camera shoved up in your face, especially the soldering. But if you didn't break your cable before this happened, which is probably about at least a good 5% of the people who are probably watching this, it should be self-explanatory. If not, I'll try and come up with some kind of artist's rendering, a terrible explanation of where things go, where they go, and how they connect to the wire. Unfortunately, I bought a right angle connector, like I said, but the great thing about these mods is you have a freedom to choose. You know, you don't have to. I don't have to stick with this right angle if I don't want to, and I can get myself a straight cable, but I don't really care really at this point, because it still works, you know. It's better strain relief. I won't say better, but plus or minus a slightly greater than the stuff that Samson put on this from the factory, which I think is the biggest issue I've had with these headphones so far. The 3D print came out real nice. It blends in really well. If it weren't for the fact that it sticks out a bit more, you wouldn't be able to tell that it's a part of it. In fact, you know, props to the guy on Thingiverse who manufactured or designed this, and the guy on all the other websites who designed a similar model that this was inspired by, and of course I would later mod to fit my needs. Yeah, the only thing that's missing is the decorative thing for placing the old Samson logo thing on it, but mine's worn out at this point, and besides, I like the look and feel of 3D printed stuff. The PEI sheet that I use definitely adds a texture to the plastic. But yeah, in other words, yeah, these headphones are pretty good. They still sound great, and this model definitely do them a world of good. It's not my greatest job, I will say. I definitely did not like how a lot of the soldering went, but a lot of the times the wiring, a lot of the times the wires were kind of like, they kind of shortened it to a few nubs, which not usually how far I usually go for it. But going past all those little trials and tribulations, these headphones sound like they did before the wire broke, and they just sound great. You know, they still have, you know, both channels are working. I did run into an issue where my ground wire became unsoldered and it sounded terrible, but that was because terrible soldering happened, and I fixed it, and yeah, it sounds great now. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to be going back to listening to this exact pair of headphones, so yeah. But with that being said, yeah, if you like what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe. This channel is completely random. Not sure if I'm going to be doing any more repair type videos like this, but I do have a bunch of other videos on this channel where I try and repair a reel-to-reel machine, which is still in the background there because I still haven't found a home for it, and a cassette deck, which I'm still working on the video. It's giving me a bit of grief, but you know, it's another project that I don't have enough time for. But anyways, I'm going to go back to listening to these headphones. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching, and bye.